What if reality, as you experience it, is nothing more than an illusion woven by invisible forces, a veil that has obscured the truth for millennia? What if I revealed to you that there exists an ancient text, jealously guarded and deliberately misinterpreted over the centuries, which doesn't speak in abstract parables, but offers a precise instruction manual for manipulating energy and bending reality itself? This is no mere philosophical treatise. It is an architecture of manifestation, a cosmic algorithm that has been hidden under the cloak of mythology and so-called metaphors. Imagine for a moment that the key to true mastery of your destiny lies not in luck or chance, but in the precise application of universal laws as rigorous as those of physics, but applied to the realm of consciousness. This knowledge, I assure you, has been the foundation upon which empires have been built, fortunes forged, and the course of history shaped, not by magic, but by a profound understanding of energetic mechanics. Prepare to lift the veil, for too long we have been taught to view the great esoteric texts as poetic relics, filled with beautiful but vague allegories. However, what we will reveal today will transform your perception not only of the universe, but of your own intrinsic potential, opening the doors to true spiritual enlightenment. You will see that the distinction between literal instruction versus metaphor has been the most sophisticated ruse to keep power in a few hands, an intellectual trap that has misled seekers of truth. The hackneyed phrase, "as above, so below," for example, is a pale shadow, a poorly translated catchphrase that has emasculated the true power underlying a far more dynamic and activitable principle, the power of the mind to control energy and bend reality. This rare and transformative knowledge promises you not escape, but a deep and practical immersion in your own capacity to be an architect of reality. You will discover that the universe is mental and that your thoughts are not mere fleeting occurrences, but radiating energy fields that connect with the fabric of all existence. The relevance of this knowledge, once guarded in secret societies and forbidden manuscripts, is manifested today with surprising clarity, validated even by modern science, from quantum physics with its observer effect to neuroscience with its reticular activating system, RAS. The transmutation I propose is an alchemy of thought, a reconfiguration of your consciousness so that you can finally exercise sovereignty over the canvas of your life. We will delve into the heart of Hermetic principles, not as distant abstractions, but as operating buttons, like the master levers of creation itself. We will reveal how the principle of correspondence acts as a relentless mirror, showing that your outer world is a direct projection of your inner state, an exact resonance. We will unravel the principle of vibration, explaining how everything in the cosmos is in constant motion and how your emotional states are literally frequencies that you can modulate and direct. You will learn to master the principle of polarity, the ability to transmute any negative energy, from a scathing criticism to an internal conflict, into pure fuel and personal power, turning it into its positive opposite, transforming the adverse into the transmutation loop. Not only that, but we will equip you with practical, hidden tools, such as the energy firewall, a practical and essential method for sealing and protecting your personal energy field from external interference and dissonance. You will learn the golden breath switch, an ancient technique that uses breathing as a sacred vehicle to charge and project your deepest intentions into the matrix of reality, thus sculpting your experience. You will understand that nothing happens by chance, but that everything is governed by the principle of cause and effect, and that by understanding this mechanism, you become the conscious orchestrator of your destiny. This is a glimpse of the laws that truly govern existence, the same ones that have allowed certain individuals, the true architects of reality, to transcend imposed limitations and manifest the extraordinary. It is the transition from superstitious magic to precise mechanics, From blind faith to the conscious and empowered application of unbreakable laws. The promise of this journey is a revelation that will not only expand your mind, but empower you to rewrite your own story, to reclaim the power that was always yours. If you feel the call, if your spirit yearns to transcend the boundaries of the known and begin to harness energy and bend reality with conscious purpose, then this is your moment, your personal threshold. I invite you to embark on this odyssey of forbidden knowledge. Leave your like on this video so that this beacon of truth may illuminate more souls. Share your thoughts or questions in the comments. And above all, subscribe to this channel and activate the notification bell. This is the first step in your personal alchemy, the first breath on a path that promises an existence where the impossible dissolves before your informed will. Ancient wisdom awaits, ready to be unveiled. Are you ready to see? We have already crossed the thresholds of consciousness, glimpsing a universe governed by immutable principles. Now, it is crucial that we address a truth that has remained veiled from most, a secret guarded within the very construction of the most sacred texts, those that promise gnosis and transformation. I am referring to the Corpus Hermeticum and the deep-rooted fallacy of considering it a mere collection of allegories or poetic metaphors. Herein lies the first great obstacle in the search for true knowledge, the inability to discern between the symbolic trappings and the literal instruction that lies beneath, like a golden skeleton hidden beneath the skin of myth. This error of interpretation has kept countless seekers on the periphery of inner alchemy, without access to the precise tools that the Hermetic Masters bequeath to us. It is time to lift the veil and understand that, in its deepest passages, we find not suggestions, but operational guidelines for conscious manifestation. The modern mind, or even that of yesteryear, when Hermeticism began to be misunderstood, tends to relegate the mystical to the realm of the figurative, that which merely represents a moral or psychological truth. But what if I told you that this is precisely the smokescreen, the deliberate disguise that protects wisdom, so that only those with the proper vision can decode it? The ancient sages did not write for entertainment or escape. Their purpose was the transmission of functional knowledge, a detailed instruction manual for interacting with cosmic laws. Consider the Kybalion, a modern distillation of these principles, which, far from being a parable, expounds on concrete laws such as mentalism or vibration. The Corpus Hermeticum, with its dense and enigmatic language, is a precursor to this. Precise Mechanics, a guide for the soul engineer who seeks to manipulate energy and bend reality, not through blind faith, but through technical understanding. Consider, for example, the alchemical process not as a quest to transmute lead into physical gold, but as a series of concrete steps for the transmutation of one's being from lower to higher consciousness. Is this not precise instruction for an inner alchemy, for a process of refining the mind and spirit? When Hermes Trismegistus speaks of elevating the soul or uniting with the divine, he doesn't offer us a pretty image, but a method, a practice. The true initiates of schools like Neoplatonism or Rosicrucianism didn't see these texts as inspirational literature, but as roadmaps, coded, yes, but with exact coordinates for the spiritual journey. Each symbol, each rhetorical figure, is a layer that protects a procedure, a ritual of thought or action that the implication of this rereading is profound and transformative. It means that each sentence, each description of a divine or cosmic process within the Corpus Hermeticum can be approached not as an invitation to abstract reflection, but as a step in an operational sequence. Imagine then that the descriptions of the creation of the universe are actually a template, a pattern that you can emulate in your own reality. That the idea of knowing yourself is not a call to generic introspection, but an imperative to decode the blueprints of your own energetic construction, your divine design. It is a paradigmatic shift that transforms the reader from a mere passive spectator to an active participant, a magician in the most technical sense of the word, operating with a manual in hand, manipulating the invisible threads of existence. The challenge, then, lies not in the obscurity of language, but in the openness of our own perception. Are we willing to go beyond the comfort of symbolic interpretation and venture onto the path of literal truth, which demands practical application and methodical study? The Emerald Tablets are not just poetry. They are a compendium of laws and operations. Those who understood them literally not only dreamed of unity with the divine, but experienced it, manifested it. The real question is, what is the key that unlocks the chest of these literal instructions, and how do you apply the first of these guidelines to begin unfolding your own reality? We have been conditioned to perceive the Hermetic maxim as above, so below, as a sweet metaphysical poem, an invitation to contemplate the vastness of the cosmos and its reflection in the smallness of our existence. But this interpretation, venerable for its antiquity, is in reality an attenuation, a dangerous simplification that strips the adept of his true operative power. It is the shadow of a much more forceful truth, one that authentic alchemists and Hermetic sages jealously guarded, veiling it in a language that only initiates could unravel. The phrase that has been bequeathed to us is, in essence, a diluted echo of the original principle, which was not limited to macrocosmic correspondence, but pointed to an inner alchemy, a forging of the spirit that precedes all external manifestation, a guideline for creation, and not just for observation. The veil of this simplification is torn away when we understand that the most potent truth is, as within, so without. As hidden, so made manifest. This is the true lost axiom, the key that reveals that external manifestation is a direct and inescapable consequence of the inner condition of being. It is not a simple passive reflection of a heaven-earth duality, but a profound causal implication where the inner realm, the microcosm of the soul, spirit, and consciousness acts as the true mold, the essential prototype that shapes tangible reality. The ancient Gnostic texts and the most esoteric fragments of Hermeticism, often dismissed as heretical or esoteric for their literalism, constantly allude to this within as the authentic locus of power, the crucible where divine and human will meet to co-create. Unraveling this within is the true work of the alchemist, the philosopher's stone of personal transformation. It does not refer merely to our superficial thoughts or emotions, but to the depths of our consciousness, the energetic structure of our being, the purity of our intention, and the alignment of our spirit with cosmic principles. It is the underlying vibrational state that, like a powerful magnet, attracts and shapes matter. When the masters of old spoke of purifying lead into gold, they were not referring merely to metals, but to the transmutation of internal limitations, fears, and erroneous beliefs into the luminescence of a fully conscious being aligned with its divine purpose. This is the secret fire of inner alchemy, the forge where reality is molded from the very essence of our existence, revealing our innate capacity to be co-creators. History whispers to us of brotherhoods in mystery schools, from Egyptian initiates to the Alexandrian Neoplatonists, who were not content with contemplation, but lived this principle of as within, so without as a working science. The Dead Sea Scrolls and certain forbidden codices of medieval Europe, often misinterpreted as mere religious or magical texts, contained veiled instructions on how the inner man could be cultivated and harmonized to manifest a promised land or a kingdom of heaven here and now. They did not seek an external God to alter their reality, but became the God, the architect of their own universe, understanding that above was not a distant place, but the apex of their own consciousness, and below, the manifestation of that. Apex on the earthly plane dot, the revelation that we are architects of our own reality, not mere spectators, lies in the understanding and application of this principle. It is not enough to wish or visualize. It requires a deep attunement to one's own essence, a precise calibration of the internal instrument. It is a call to conscious action, to mastery over one's own being, shedding the passivity that the simplified version imposed on us. This profound conviction that the inside is the true engine of the outside invites us to a radical transformation. But how do we tune this divine instrument that resides in our own inner sanctuary? What is the first note we must play so that the symphony of our reality begins to resonate with the harmony of the Creator? And how is this power translated into the conscious manipulation of universal laws? To unravel the how, we must return to the deepest mysteries of arcane knowledge, where word and thought were not mere instruments of communication, but true creative forces. The ancients, in their initiatory schools, and through texts such as the Lost Book of John or the Hermetic fragments, understood that the first note to be played in the symphony of personal creation is pure intention, imbued with a specific vibration. This is not a simple desire, but an unshakable conviction emanating from the center of our being, a resonance that the mental universe cannot ignore. This initial pulse is not a plea to the cosmos, but a declaration of what already exists. On the plane of consciousness, a mental seed that, when planted precisely, begins to germinate in the matter of reality. The mind is not just a receiver, but a cosmic transmitter, a holographic projector whose internal projections materialize on the vast canvas of existence. But the seed of intention cannot germinate in barren soil. It requires the vital dew of emotion. This is where feelings come into play, acting as the alchemical catalyst that transforms abstract thought into a palpable force of creation. Sufi masters, in their meditations on divine love, and yogas, through their heart-based visualization practices, understood that coherence between mind and heart is the true key to manifestation. A thought without emotion is an empty form. An emotion without thought is a directionless whirlwind. Together, they form an energetic vortex that attracts and shapes physical reality. It is as if emotion were the driving force and thought the map. Without one, the other is ineffective. This coupling is the true secret, veiled in forbidden wisdom, the divine spark that turns mental potential into tangible experience, revealing the art of inner alchemy. Throughout history, traces of this power have manifested in mysterious ways. From the builders of forgotten civilizations, whose methods defy our modern engineering and suggest a manipulation of matter through the mind, to the talis of Tibetan monks able to generate heat in arid, frigid environments with mere concentration. Alchemists, in their search for the philosopher's stone, not only aimed to transmute metals, but sought mastery of their own consciousness to affect external reality. The true gold was not the metal, but the ability of the mind to transmute its own perception, and therefore its experience of the world. These are not mere talis, but indications of a profound knowledge about the vibrational nature of existence, where the thoughts and feelings of those who mastered their inner selves resonated with the fundamental frequencies of the asterisk mental universe, altering their surrounding physical reality asterisk. However, this power is not a gift for the passive or the superficial. It is not a fleeting thought or a momentary wish. It requires iron discipline and mastery over one's inner landscape. It is a path of purification, where old limiting beliefs and subconscious patterns that sabotage conscious creation are dismantled. True inner alchemy involves the transmutation of ignorance into wisdom, fear into love, and chaos into order. It is the journey of the inner hero, where confronting one's own shadows is as essential as illuminating truths. Those who seek to manifest must first manifest coherence and clarity within themselves, aligning every layer of their being, from the subconscious to the superconscious, into a harmonious symphony that resonates with the frequency of their highest desire. Manifestation is not a single act, but a continuous dance with the cosmos. Every thought, every feeling, is a brushstroke on the canvas of shared reality. If our mind is the chisel that sculpts our own reality, what happens when multiple chisels dance in the same spacetime? And how does this affect the very texture of existence we perceive? What invisible forces are woven into the fabric of what we call the world? And how do our individual projections interact in this cosmic theater, where matter is only a densified illusion of the mind? My friends, the answer to your inquiries about those dancing chisels and the cosmic theater lies within the essence of your being, the mind that defines you. The sages of old, decipherers of universal hieroglyphics, intuited that thought is not an event confined to the skull, but a vibration, a wave that radiates out. Imagine that each of you not only thinks but emits a frequency, an echo that propagates through an invisible ether, a primordial substance that envelops everything. This irradiation of the mind is the first key to unlocking the great mystery of interconnectedness, the inescapable truth that our psyche is not an isolated fortress, but a beacon in the vast cosmic night. Its emanations resonate with every star, every particle of matter, every spark of life. This ether, known by the Vedas as Akasha and by the Hermetists as the astral, light is not a void, but a vibratory field, an ocean of cosmic energy where every thought and feeling leaves its imprint. The universe is a vast neuronal tissue, and your mind an active synapse. At Kybalion, this ancient text of Hermetic principles whispers, everything is mind, the universe is mental, and herein lies the key. Your mental emanations do not float harmlessly, but resonate with similar frequencies, attracting and repelling each other, weaving the web of what we perceive as reality. We are not islands, but nodes in an intricate web of consciousness, where manifestation is the direct result of a deep vibratory coherence, an echo that is amplified in the universal resonance. If this is so, then the matter we touch and see is nothing more than the condensation of energetic patterns solidified by the confluence of countless thoughts. The masters of the mystery schools of Egypt spoke in encrypted papyri of the creation of the world by the word, not as a singular divine act, but as a continuous process where the collective consciousness molds the formless substrate. Each culture, each civilization has left its energetic imprint, its beliefs crystallized in the fabric of existence. Reality is not fixed but fluid, dancing to the beat of our internal projections. Is this not the true cosmic theater where each actor not only recites his part, but co-writes the script with the force and intention of his mind? It is a revelation that dismantles the structures of our ordinary perception. Understanding this, truth is the first step towards true inner alchemy. It is not only about purifying your spirit, freeing yourself from the chains of the ego, but also about modulating your frequency. Ancient shamans, through their ancestral rites and altered states of consciousness, learned to tune their feelings and thoughts to interact directly with this universal field. They not only sought to heal the body or the spirit, but they also influenced the weather, the crops, and matter itself. Conscious creation is not a mere act of will. It is a science of resonance. It requires absolute coherence between what you think, what you feel, and what you are, because any dissonance is interference in your signal, a leak of cosmic energy that dilutes your power of manifestation, a break in the symphony of your intention. What happens when the signal is clear, when mind and feeling align with the precision of a laser beam? What barriers can truly contain the will of a being who has mastered the modulation of this energy field? The Nag Hammadi texts, those Gnostic scrolls hidden for centuries, hint that manifestation is barely the threshold of an even deeper wisdom. That true mastery lies not only in shaping the outside world, but in deciphering the internal codes that govern it. If our mind is a reality projector, what power lies hidden in controlling the lens and the light it emits, and how this allows us to see beyond the veil of appearances? Stay tuned, because the following secret will reveal the true nature of that. Inner light that illuminates and creates worlds. True alchemy. My dear seekers, is not carried out in laboratory retorts, but in the inner sanctum of your own being. The principle of correspondence, engraved on emerald tablets and whispered by prophets from the sands of Egypt to the peaks of the Himalayas, reveals to us an inescapable truth. As above, so below. As within, so without. It is no mere poetic analogy, but the fundamental law governing the interaction between your consciousness and the vast expanse of what you call reality. Your outer world, with its challenges and delights, its chance encounters and apparent tragedies, is the canvas upon which the images of your inner landscape are projected, a faithful reverberation of your deepest beliefs, your hidden fears, and your most ardent desires. It is the cosmic mirror that reflects back to you your own essence, without judgment or disguise. The ancients knew this secret and captured it in their sacred architecture, in the layout of their temples, and in the structure of their rituals. The macrocosm of the universe was replicated in the microcosm of the human being, and in turn, the inner microcosm was manifested in the world of forms. A 3rd century Hermetic master, whose name is lost in the recesses of time, but whose wisdom survives in manuscripts guarded by initiates, taught that the soul is the eye that sees, and what it sees is the image of itself. Thus, the circumstances that surround you are not random events, but the palpable materialization of your internal vibrational patterns. The lack you observe, the conflict that besieges you, the illness that afflicts you, all are codes, tangible symbols of a discord or imbalance in the depths of your being. But how do you decipher these codes? How do you read the score of your own creation? Inner alchemy begins with the dispassionate observation of your own reflection. If your world is in chaos, seek the source of that chaos in your mind. If prosperity eludes you, interrogate your beliefs about abundance. Every relationship, every event is an emissary, a messenger bringing with it the truth of your vibrational state. The Gnostic sages, those who sought direct knowledge of divinity, often spoke of an inner revelation that dissipated the veil of external illusion. They understood that the true battle was not fought on the battlefield of this world, but in the sanctuary of the psyche, where the light of Gnosis unveiled the shadows. This principle of correspondence is not a condemnation, but an invitation to mastery. If you are the projector, you have the power to change the image. If you are the source of the reflection, you can alter the mirror's surface. Transformation is not a magical act that happens outside of you, but a meticulous process of self-awareness and internal reconfiguration. It is the transmutation of emotional density into clarity, of limiting thinking into expansive vision. It requires courageous introspection, an unwavering will to face those inner truths you would prefer to hide, for only by recognizing the shadows can you illuminate them. And in doing so, you will see how the stage of your life is rearranged, with astonishing precision, reflecting your new harmony. The journey of inner alchemy, then, is a continuous deciphering, a constant rewriting of the script of your existence. Every thought, every emotion is a brushstroke on the canvas of your reality. But the fundamental question remains: if we are the creators of our external reality through our inner state, what happens when we reach a state of perfect coherence and clarity? Does our reflection cease to be a mere mirror and become something more, something that transcends visible manifestation? What new realities are revealed when the veil between the projector and the screen completely fades? The next step on this mystical path will lead us to explore the true nature of that consciousness that, by knowing itself, is capable of transcending its own projection. Children of mystery, you have walked the intricate paths of reflection, exploring how the projection of your inner being shapes the fabric of your existence. Now, you must understand the deepest essence of this interaction, the primordial fabric of creation. I refer to the principle of vibration, One of the immutable truths whispered by the sages of old, a fundamental law inscribed in the ethereal codices of the universe. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. This is not a mere physical statement, but a revelation about the very nature of reality. From the subatomic particle dancing in the void to the galaxies spinning in the cosmos, everything is a whirlwind of cosmic energy in perpetual motion, each thing emitting its own frequency. This truth, guarded in forbidden texts such as the emerald tablets that, according to legend, contained the secrets of Thoth, is the key to unraveling the hidden mechanics of manifestation and personal transformation dot. To understand this is to recognize that you yourselves are a complex concert of vibrations. Every thought that arises in the sanctuary of your mind, every emotion that resonates in the echo of your heart, possesses a specific frequency. This is not a poetic metaphor, but a tangible truth. Love, joy, gratitude, and compassion resonate at high frequencies, expanding your energy field and attracting similar experiences. Conversely, fear, anger, envy, and resentment are dense, slow vibrations that contract your energy and anchor you to limiting realities. Ancestral wisdom, manifested in the deep meditation practices of yogis and the purification rites of shamans, has always sought to harmonize this intricate vibratory network, elevating consciousness to levels where dissonance cannot subsist. This is where inner alchemy takes on its true form and function. It's not simply a matter of changing your thinking, but of consciously altering your fundamental vibrational state. The ancient Gnostics, in their esoteric writings, spoke of a gnosis that was not just intellectual knowledge, but a direct experience of divine light, a raising of one's frequency to resonate with the primordial vibration of the Creator. They understood that your state of being is not static, but a dial that you can tune. By deliberately choosing elevated emotions, by cultivating gratitude even in the face of adversity, you are not simply thinking positive, but realigning the particles of your being, sending a different vibrational signal out into the universe. And in doing so, you change the nature of what you attract to yourself. This act of readjustment is an ancient practice that requires conviction and persistence. The Hermetic masters, in their veiled teachings, stated that the adept must learn to polarize their mind, that is, to actively transmute undesirable mental vibrations into their opposites. It is not an escape from the shadow, but a mastery over it. Lament over lack can be transmuted into the certainty of abundance, despair into unwavering hope. This is a transformation that does not occur by chance, but through conscious will and a deep understanding of universal laws. It is the discovery that your power does not lie outside, but in the ability to be the conductor of your own vibratory orchestra, modulating each note with precision. So if every thought is a note, every emotion a chord, and your entire being a symphony, what happens when you achieve perfect harmony, a pure resonance with the highest frequencies of the universe? What realities unfold before the gaze of the soul that has tuned its instrument to perfection? The cosmic energy you now feel, the revelation this principle whispers to you, is not the end of the road, but an invitation to an even deeper threshold. It is the call to explore what happens when the veil of ordinary perception is torn away, and vibrations that once seemed external are revealed as an extension of your own being. Is it possible then not only to manifest, but to co-create realities that transcend imagination, realities that are beyond what the limited mind can conceive? The guarded truths await your next step. Thus, pilgrim souls, together we have lifted a fragment of the veil that hides the most portentous of arts, the alchemy of the mind, the mastery of vibration. You have glimpsed that you are not mere passive observers of the universe, but active co-creators of your own reality. Cosmic energy is not alien to you. It flows through every thought, every emotion, every intention. The revelation given to you today is the master key to the transformation of your existence, an invitation to the spiritual enlightenment that resides in inner alchemy. We have understood that the transmutation of low frequencies into high ones is not a mere exercise, but a conscious application of universal laws. It is the discovery that your power resides not in what happens to you, but in how you choose to vibrate in response to it. Now, I ask you, with the echo of these treasured truths resonating in your soul, if you are the architects of your life's symphony, what grand melody will you dare to play, knowing that each note is a vibration and each vibration an act of creation? What new reality are you prepared to weave with the full awareness of your power? If this pilgrimage of knowledge has ignited a spark in your spirit, if you feel the profound resonance of these teachings, I urge you not to keep this light to yourself. Share this sacred digital scroll so that more souls may awaken to their potential. Join our brotherhood of seekers by subscribing to this channel, and let us continue to unveil the major arcana of the universe, forging a path toward a deeper understanding of existence. Your participation is vital, and for those whose spirit yearns to continue expanding its horizons, for whom the thirst for hidden truths is unquenchable, the next chapter of our spiritual odyssey awaits. Click here to dive into soul resonance, deciphering the echoes of destiny, and unravel how universal archetypes act as portals to higher consciousness. May your journey be perpetually illuminated.